ആരെയും കേറണ്ട എന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല. വരേണ്ടവർക്കെല്ലാം വരാം. ഇവിടെ ഇങ്ങനെ വന്നാൽ പുലിയും പിടിക്കാം, പുരുഷനും പിടിക്കാം. ഇത് രണ്ടും ഉണ്ടാകാതിരിക്കാൻ ഗവൺമെന്റ് വേണ്ട നടപടി സ്വീകരിക്കണം.
That was Prayar Gopalakrishnan, the former president of the Devaswam board, who in a press conference at the Pathanamthitta Press Club said that let all the women come to Sabarimala. But when they come, they can be caught by both tigers and men, and we will not be held responsible. That, viewers, is the latest piece of advice that has come for those women devotees who intend to make that trek to Sabarimala on 17th of October. As we all know, on the 28th of September, the Supreme Court had delivered a historic verdict asking the Hill Temple to open its doors to all women regardless of age. Since then, there have been admonitions. There have been political party-backed protests through the state of Kerala and outside. And there have also been threats. Just yesterday, BJP supporter and actor Kollam Thulasi said this. Listen. Well, essentially what Mr. Thulasi said over there is that sisters can come to the temple, but then if they do come, they should be ripped apart. One half of their body should be thrown outside the office of the Chief Minister of Kerala and the other half in Delhi. He has, of course, been subsequently booked and has tendered an apology today. You've already seen and heard what ex-Devaswam President Prayar Gopalakrishnan had to say today about tigers and men attacking women, and now we are told that the Shiv Sena has threatened mass suicide if women are allowed to enter the temple. So there's murder, there's mass suicide, and now an open warning. The question we are asking tonight is how far will these devotees go to keep women out of the temple? Why stand in their way if the top court of the land has given them the right to pray? And as in the case of Kollam Thulasi, shouldn't action be taken against Mr. Gopalakrishnan as well for making an open threat? Those are the questions we are asking tonight. Joining me on the debate, S. Muralidharan, political analyst, Deepa Rahul Ishwar, who is also an activist, Prashant Unnikrishnan, Ayyappa Dharma Sena member. We also have Vikram Singh, who is a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Amit Khemka, who is an advocate with the Delhi High Court, and Tara Krishnaswamy, who is a social activist. I'll begin with Vikram Singh, who knows the laws of the land and is a former policeman. Vikram Singh, you heard what Mr. Gopalakrishnan had to say. Does that constitute a crime? Is that punishable under the laws of the land?
Absolutely, it is punishable, Kavita ji. I would have expected better responsibility from a person who has held such a high office. Contempt of court apart, to defy openly the dictates, to defy the orders of the Supreme Court and issue threats, absolutely imaginary threats in a situation, and also to promote animosity between genders, that of course constitutes, and I can give you the sections. If I had been the local police officer, 151 CRPC to begin with, and other sections of the IPC, including section 153A of the Indian Penal Code. Now, to say things so irresponsibly, any religion constitutes of three ingredients: mythology, philosophy, and rituals. You are banking everything on mythology and not on philosophy and on ritualistic things. At the time when we are celebrating Navratri and when we say Sarva Bhuta Yada Devi Swarga Mukti Pradayani, you are behaving in an absolute downcast misogynist, and it is absolutely unbecoming of your office that you have held. You have desecrated the office that you have held. You are trying to misguide the local people, and you have no legs to stand on, either legal or moral. I would strongly advocate that people like him, who are spreading nonsense, they should be booked and under preemptive arrest.
Precisely. In fact, Prashant Unnikrishnan, tell us what kind of a statement is this? Let women come to Sabarimala and you will fall prey to either tigers or men. Do not blame us.
Swami Sharanam, let me tell you that we will have a Gandhian way of protesting this movement. Our movement, Ayyappa Sena, Ayyappa Dharma Sena, will have the Gandhian way of protesting it. We will have lakhs and lakhs of people across Kerala and across from Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and all those areas. We are joining as a group of people and we will be present there. We will be present from 17th of this month, 16th of this month itself. We will be present at Sabarimala from Pamba area, from Nilakil area itself. We will be present and we will ensure that there won't be a single drop of space. There will even be not even a pinpoint space that we will allow women to come over there. We will still, we are telling you, we don't use violence. We are not taking Kollam Thulasi's way of attacking to women, or we are not taking any violent movement. We will use the Gandhian way of doing things. But we won't let, we will bring our ammas with our ladies, old age ladies. We will bring small kids also to this protest. And we will not allow any ladies between 10 and 50 years of age. That we will ensure that through the Gandhian way of protest.
Prashant Unnikrishnan, so you're essentially telling us over here on national television that one, you're going to bar the entry of women to the temple, women who've been allowed by the Supreme Court, who've been granted the right to enter the temple. And the second thing is that knowingly you are going to bring old women and young children into the line of so-called fire. If, God forbid, something goes wrong,
no, we are not,
which is what I'm saying. If God forbid, you said Gandhian.
No, their life is, they usually you can see.
Do those children have a say in whether or not they want to join the protest?
These age.
Prashant Unnikrishnan, do those children have a say?
You can see usually usually you can see the children and old age women come to Sabarimala usually in the season time. Usually they visit Sabarimala. And this time also people are bringing, the men who visit Sabarimala usually bring their kids and old family ladies.
So you're going to ask all of them to stand and bar
They are not
the
taking
way.
their risk, usually.
No, are you saying that everybody who
That
comes
is
to
what we are
Sabarimala, you're
also
going to
doing.
ask
That
them
is
to
the Gandhian
stand
way we
and
can
bar the way of women into the temple? Is that something they have to do? What if they choose not to do
What is
that?
going to happen? Why do you want to take dialogues on that?
What if they choose not to do that?
No, let us see. We have a clear-cut plan on how to do it on the Gandhian way. We are again repeating
Is
the
it the
words
Gandhian
that
way to
as
ask small
we are not
children to
taking the way
stand
what
and
Kollam
bar
Thulasi
the
have said.
entry? Amit Khemka, is it the Gandhian way to ask small
No, you
children,
can see
little children to stand and protest in this form? Is it the
What
Gandhian
happened
way?
in the Uppu Satyagraha? Only men were there in Uppu Satyagraha. Well, may I ask you, in Uppu Satyagraha only men were there?
This is not Uppu Satyagraha.
In Uppu Satyagraha only.
For the benefit of the audience who's tuning in, let me tell you, he's talking about the
Can you
salt.
request the gentleman to keep quiet for a moment?
Right. Amit Khemka, for the benefit, for
Kavita,
your benefit.
you have asked a question
yes,
to me.
Yes,
I
Amit
suppose?
Khemka. Yes. Go on, Amit Khemka. Is it the Gandhian way?
You
To
know,
ask children.
Kavita, in section 505 of the Indian Penal Code, subsection 3, if any such thing takes place in a temple or in a place of worship, it is punishable with 5 years of imprisonment. It is not protest, it is crime. Now you put together this with the statements being made by the so-called leaders or so-called representatives of the temple. If you combine these two, it is a conspiracy, which again is punishable under the IPC. Then it is incitement, it is abetment to commit crime, it is abetment to commit murder. Even if no murder is committed, then also it is punishable with 7 years of imprisonment. So, abetment under section 115 of Indian Penal Code, to to commit an offense which is punishable with life or death, is the punishment is 7 years. Now what they are doing is they are clearly telling all kinds of hoodlums to commit offense, tear the woman into pieces, send one piece to one place, other to other one, and then they are calling themselves Gandhians. Now let me tell you that this is absolutely a case of abetment, inciting violence, creating disharmony among at a place of worship. Now it is absolutely covered by many provisions of IPC, and I am surprised as to why the governments of the day have not taken the action till date. Why these people are not behind bars. And apart from the moral thing, apart from the fact that once the Supreme Court says that the woman is entitled to go there, leave it to them whether they go there or not. If they feel that their religion says that they should not go, let them not go. If they feel that they must go, they must be allowed to go. Who are these MCPs to say that we will not allow or we will not let them go? Who are they? Who has given them the license to say so? Who has given them the license?
Ambassadors of the Almighty,
protest at your home.
Ambassadors of
How
the
can
Almighty.
you say in the
Kavita,
name of protest we will not allow people to move? How
Right.
can you restrain somebody from going into a temple in the name of protest? It is absolutely an illegal thing. It is absolutely a crime which they are committing, and they should be booked for it. They should be taken to task. They should be punished for it.
Precisely. Tara, I know you want to come in, and the question that I want you to also answer is that when we were fighting at the time of the salt Satyagraha, we were essentially fighting over there for a right to freedom. What are we fighting for over here?
Yeah, it's there have been some really ridiculous points that have been made by the previous, the panelists who referred to the salt Satyagraha. First of all, to claim you're an activist who is following the Gandhian way and blatantly break the Indian law in a manner that break the law at all, first of all, and second of all, to break the law that prevent your fellow citizens from entering a place of worship that they are rightfully now allowed to enter, right? And these citizens respectfully did not enter that place of worship so long as they were not allowed to. That decency the citizens had, so long as they were not allowed to, right or wrong, they were decent enough not to enter it. They were decent enough to respect the law. Now, these so-called devotees, I refuse to recognize them as devotees, they are essentially announcing on national TV time and again that they will break the law by preventing other citizens whose constitutional right it is now to enter that place, if preventing them from entering it, to what end? Because they don't gain anything. Now, the second point is, as far as the salt Satyagraha is concerned, Gandhian protests, every Gandhian protest was against a foreign entity, not one's own citizens, not one's own country. And yes, a non-violent protest is good. I appreciate them for doing that, but I don't appreciate the protest itself. As far as women in the salt Satyagraha are concerned, Gandhi's primary concern was that very thing, that women don't get arrested for an illegal act. And here, despite which women participated, which is a different thing, but Gandhi himself did not call for women to participate because for whatever reason he was concerned about women getting arrested.
No, madam,
now, these people are not only calling for women to participate, which is fine. They are adults. They can decide whether they want to. Stop. I'm not done yet. They're calling for women to participate, and that is fine. Women are adults.
Madam,
they have agency. They can decide if they want to.
Prashant, let her
Bring
finish.
children into it simply means
Madam.
that you're encouraging children to break the law. You're setting an example that it is okay
Madam,
to go against the highest law of the land, against the verdict of the
Prashant, we'll
highest
come
court
to
of
you.
the land,
Prashant, I'll
which
come
is
to you. Let her finish.
unacceptable.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
No, don't come until I finish.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Kavita. Yeah, to encourage children and to poison them at this young age that it is okay to break the law of the land, it is okay to go against a Supreme Court ruling, against one's own citizens, against their constitutional rights, is completely unacceptable.
Precisely. It is completely unacceptable. And how can you even think of bringing women, bringing children into this? Mr. Muralidharan?
വെള്ളം തരാം.
Mr. Muralidharan?
I have a different take on this altogether. Yes, I have a different take on this altogether. Let me start by saying on the October 2nd and 7th, it was a lovely movement. It's a movement which consisted only women. And these women are the people of the state who felt this verdict was not right, so they decided to dissent. It was so nice. Unfortunately, for the past 2 days, the politicians who have seen what's happening on the ground, the Hindus, predominantly being a tolerant race, have started dissenting, and they are showing their dissent in a very strong way. So they thought this is a great opportunity, the Congress and the BJP, to topple the communist government. That's the reason they took to the stages. Then they started, blabbering nonsenses like, we'll cut them into 2 pieces and throw them here, throw them there. These are absolute nonsense, and these are by politicians. This is not the actual people who are protesting. What Mr. Gentleman here, which is trying to say is, we will have a protest, but it will be consisting of women who will come and protest. Now, what we need to understand, Kerala is not New Delhi, and New Delhi is not Kerala. You need to understand a state if you have to decide for the state. Unfortunately, the communist government did not argue its case properly. Because of that, the Supreme Court had to give a verdict. And that verdict does not go with the majority in the state. And I'm sure there is not even 1% of the women in Kerala who wants to go to Sabarimala, because that's their belief, that's their culture, which they have been running it. Me sitting in Chennai, I can't dictate saying that, no, I will bring my wife along. No, I can't do that, because that state belongs to them. Now, this is, I'll draw a parallel to this. Kashmir issue, we were not
Kavita,
able to solve it till today. You know why?
Sure,
Because we don't understand the Kashmir. We think it's all about terrorism, etc. It is not. We do not understand Kashmir, period. And the gentleman here, like the DGP and other gentleman, was talking about IPC, the law, etc. Sir, when people's power takes over, everything will go through the roof, because this is a mistake, the collective mistake of many people. I will not say, with due respect to the judiciary, I will not blame them, but this is a collective responsibility of the governance of the state, which has failed its people. Now the government has to take care of this. See, you can't just say, I will let women inside. You can't just say, I will let women inside, because there is something called a 41-day Lent for men. Now, if you're going to let women inside, you need to set up rules for them. This is how you should prepare. This is what Irumudi is. This is how you should come there. It's not a picnic spot, for God's sake. Let's understand. So, the Devastham board should have put those guidelines before saying we'll allow women. Now they're saying we'll allow women, but they're coming at their own risk. This is nonsense, because the Devastham board is run by the government. The government has taken over. It's the government's responsibility to ensure the women's safety.
Mr. Muralidharan,
Mr. Muralidharan, my personal opinion, I would say women should stay away. This is somebody's belief.
Mr. Muralidharan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Muralidharan, first of all, the person who made that particular comment is not from the Devaswam board. He was formerly with the Devaswam board. And secondly, I take offense over here. I take offense that you're sitting on prime time in a national channel. I'm sorry. I take offense to the fact that you're sitting on a national channel and you're saying that Delhi cannot decide for Kerala. The fact is the highest court of the land has taken a decision over here. Tara Krishnaswamy, I know you want to come in. Make your point, and then I'll go to Deepa Ishwar.
Yeah.
Now, can I clarify what I said?
So,
a
couple of points.
When
One is
Delhi,
women are already going. No.
I mentioned the Supreme Court later. When I said Delhi, it's a government. The central government.
So Kerala is part of the country. The Kerala is part of the country of which the central government sits in Delhi.
I came to judiciary later.
Kerala is part of the country for which the central government
cannot decide on
Delhi.
what Kerala should wear and where Kerala should go. Central government cannot decide. It's a state. There are elected people in the state. Who will decide for the state? Who is Mr. Modi or the BJP to decide what I should wear and whom I should worship? Do they know my culture?
Mr. Muralidharan, this
Do
was
know-
a
do
case
they
that
know
was
how we
judged.
lend?
This was a case that
Now,
was
I'll tell
heard
you
by a
one more thing.
4-judge
During the
bench
fo-
of the Supreme Court. The union government had nothing to do over here. Tara Krishnaswamy.
Hello?
With due respect to
Muralidharan,
the
you're not
judgment, ma'am,
letting-
I'll tell you the reason why
Hello?
1 lakh women are on the streets
Mr.
is because
Muralidharan,
it is-
you are not letting my other panelists speak. Tara Krishnaswamy, go ahead. Deepa Ishwar, where do you stand to the fact that now, where do you stand on the fact that now people are issuing threats? There are open threats being issued to stop women from entering the temple. That children are now going to be brought into this movement to ensure
many
that
threats
children
have
do
you
not
received?
enter the temple.
How many threats have you heard of, ma'am?
We've heard of 2 already.
2? There are 2 reported threats and that's your national breaking news. You heard 2 threats and that's your breaking news today. What kind of manipulation is that? So there are 2 threats and there are thousands of devotees out there. But you choose to selectively listen to only the threats and turn a deaf ear towards the devotees. So what kind of manipulation is that? So you heard a Kollam Thulasi talk about something which none of us believe in, and the devotees, on behalf of devotees, Rahul Ishwar, who's leading the campaign, has apologized for that. Kollam Thulasi sir himself has apologized for that, but you're still carrying it as your breaking news today. You're still carrying it as your headline. 1. Point 2, Prayar Gopalakrishnan sir is a very, very close friend of ours, all respectfully. There are a few emotional outbursts of, irritation, frustration out of this verdict that has come out from his side also, and you carried that. But what about carrying the chance that ordinary people without any politics have been throwing across different parts of the country, not just Kerala, but different parts of the country? You've been seeing groups moving in masses here and there, and you choose to ignore all of that and just show off around 2 threats and tell us that people have started showing threats. Can you answer that question of mine? What is the validity of this news? 2 people have issued threats, so what do you mean by that?
Sure, Deepa Ishwar, with pleasure. Deepa Ishwar, with pleasure.
Let me
give my viewers. Deepa Ishwar, you've asked a question, I'm answering the question. Deepa Ishwar, you asked a question, I'm answering that question. Let me give my viewers some background information. It is not just a Kollam Thulasi. Kollam Thulasi is a Malayalam actor. Kollam Thulasi is a member of the BJP, of the NDA as they are called in Kerala. He made that comment at a political rally. 1. Second, the other person who spoke is the ex-Devaswam president, ex-president of the temple board of Sabarimala. I need not tell you the kind of power he wields over people in Kerala, especially the devotees.
So
wait, let me finish.
No, I understand.
Let me finish. I allowed you to talk. I allowed you to talk. Let me finish. One need not talk about the kind of power the ex-president of the Sabarimala board would wield over the devotees who come there year after year after year. And just now, we heard what Prashant Unnikrishnan of the Ayyappa Dharma Sena, which is also a grouping of devotees, had to say. He said that we are calling devotees from across the state, across the country to stand over there and bar entry. If these are not threats, what are they called? Vikram Singh, what would you call it? I've given you the background. 1 second. I've given you the background, Vikram Singh. You tell me what you want.
I thought you would come back to me.
I'll come back to you, Deepa
Kavita,
Ishwar.
this is coercion,
and
now you see the soft coercion.
I'm moderating this
And this
debate.
is soft coercion
I'm sorry,
on your
Deepa.
screen
I'm
also.
moderating this debate. You'll have to wait for your
Kavita,
turn.
this is soft
Vikram.
coercion. Kavita, this is soft coercion, and it has the potential of turning into arm twisting in course of time. Half of your TV screen focuses on the agitation, the so-called agitation of the people who are trying to protest on the Supreme Court verdict. If this is not fairness, then what is? There's enough light in the world for those who wish to see, and enough darkness for those who have the opposite disposition.
We are not.
Now, having
we
said
are
that,
not
I would say
the Supreme
that
Court verdict. We are not. We are not against
your
the Supreme
Gandhian
Court
philosophy
verdict. We
needs
are against.
you need to have
the
a tutorial on Gandhian philosophy. Gandhian philosophy focuses on ahimsa and following the truth.
We are not giving any
disobeying
platonic.
the
We are
rule
not
of
giving
law.
any platonic
Women
statements
have a
over
place
here right now. But what
and-
about Jallikattu? What
Prashant
about the
Unnikrishnan,
Jallikattu?
Let us not
shooting
indulge
from
in
the
rhetoric,
guns.
sir. I could
Prashant
out-argue,
Unnikrishnan,
but the fact
shooting from the
remains
shoulder of a
that
child
you
is
are
not
quoting
Gandhian
the
philosophy.
Gandhian philosophy to your own perverse advantage.
Precisely.
It is just not Gandhian philosophy. Don't misquote Gandhi because you are misusing the name of Gandhi and ahimsa. If this is not soft ahimsa, then
No,
what
we
is?
okay. Then
This
let
is
me tell you,
shrouded
we are into
ahimsa.
non-violence.
This is
We are
shrouded
not into a
violence.
violent mode of attack
Prashant
of ladies who come into
Unnikrishnan,
Sabarimala.
Prashant Unnikrishnan,
Please
you're using a
understand, let me
child
give you
as a shield.
statistics.
Keeping apart
Please
Prashant
understand.
Unnikrishnan,
See,
you're
you
using
can
a
talk
child
here
as a
and
shield.
there.
That is not Gandhian philosophy. Deepa
Can
Ishwar,
I talk?
you wanted to make a point. Please go ahead.
Keeping apart the threats that you hear from Kollam Thulasi sir or Priyar Gopalakrishnan sir, I don't think what he said about bringing women and young children is not any form of threat. It is just peaceful protest that he meant there. But then whatever threats you heard from Kollam Thulasi sir or Priyar Gopalakrishnan sir, if you keep that apart, the campaign is of a peaceful nature. The campaign that you will see that will converge on October 17th at Sabarimala will not use muscle power. All we are saying is we will be there to safeguard the temple's beliefs, the beliefs of the masses. We will lie down there, and if anybody is going to hurt anyone, it will only be those who want to stamp on the chests of the devotees. So who is hurting whom here? So we are not using any sort of force.
Yes.
We are not going to catch anybody's hands and say
So there are
throw
two
them out
kinds
of
of
the temple.
devotees.
We are not going to use abusive language on anyone. But if anyone wants to stamp over the chests of these devotees and walk into the temple, then who is hurting whom here? So how can you ignore the fact that it's not we who are using violence here, but those who want to stamp on us and enter the temple?
Absolutely.
Violence is actually used by them. How can you ignore the most basic fact of the campaign? There might be one or two threats here and there, which is definitely wrong, and it should not be misinterpreted as the general nature of the campaign. But the major fact, the major focus of the masses of Kerala and different parts of India today is on October 17th at Sabarimala, when devotees who cannot let go of their beliefs just because of a Supreme Court verdict, with all due respect to the Supreme Court, but just one verdict cannot change the beliefs of centuries. And I'm sure the Supreme Court or none of you would have thought that we're going to be taking back all, we're going to sit back and take it all out of thinking that okay, so now young women are going to enter, our beliefs have been wrong till yesterday, now let's go ahead, file a review petition. Until then there's not going to be any protest. Obviously protests were expected. When such a verdict comes out, it is going to hit the century-long beliefs of devotees. So obviously protests are bound to happen.
Right.
And now you're all asking as if, okay, why are you protesting? But I'm sure this was expected because the masses are against this verdict, and the Honorable Supreme Court is not surprised because of these protests.
Deepa Ishwar, I appreciate the fact that you finally acknowledged a threat to be a threat. But Tara, tell me something. If a leading actor and a member...
I've been acknowledging it from day one.
No, you began by saying where are the threats. Tara, if a leading actor and a member of a political party, if the member of the temple board, the ex-president of the temple board go out and issue these kind of statements, what does it mean? Doesn't it read like a license being given to, open license being given to hooligans over here?
It is just varying degrees of, illegal things that are being proposed here, whether it is the open threats or it is, people claiming that it's non-violent, and it's an insult to Gandhi to say these are Gandhian values, because Gandhi never protested against other citizens' constitutional
What is
rights.
illegal
He
about
only
it,
fought
ma'am?
for expanding rights. He never said that other citizens' constitutional rights. What is illegal about it is that the highest constitutional authority in this country has declared that women can go, all women can go. Now you have a right to protest peacefully. Against whom is the question? You can protest against the Supreme Court, you can protest against the government, but when you're barring someone else's right to go, who are now sanctioned to go by the Supreme Court itself, then it becomes a problem. Then that is illegal, because you're stopping someone's right to go. That is one part of the problem.
We will be
the second
there.
part of the problem.
Those who want
I'm not
to go
done yet.
will
I'm not
go
done
on
yet.
top of us.
I'm not done
You are
yet. Deepa, you hold your
obstructing
horses. I'm not
anybody.
done yet.
You are obstructing
I'm not done
them.
yet.
Even that is hinsa.
I am not done yet. Relax. 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 Relax, I'm not done yet, okay? You're going to stop other people from exercising a right that the Supreme Court has now given them. Gandhi never did that. Second, this is very reminiscent in another way of Gandhi. During the Pune Pact in the 1930s, when Gandhi and Ambedkar declared that the temple shall be thrown open to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, Gandhi, in his letters and in his public statements, says that thousands, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people wrote to him, marched, protested, saying that this will completely go against the beliefs, this will go against faith, this is not Hindu, this will anger the deities, how can you mess with people's beliefs, so on and so forth. Thankfully, Gandhi did not give in. So don't you be taking the name of Gandhi and doing something illegal that breaks the rights and doing something that is, preventing other people from exercising their constitutionally granted freedoms. Do it, but don't take Gandhi's name. It is illegal, first of all, and if you want to protest, that is your right. To protest peacefully is your right, but not by stopping other people's rights. By all means, protest against the Supreme Court verdict. March in the streets as people have already been doing. So long as it doesn't turn violent and you follow the law and protest peacefully, nobody is complaining about that.
Amit Khemka,
you're obstructing people from entering. That is an act of violence.
Stopping anyone.
Right. I'd like my.
No, we're not.
No,
we're not.
Deepa,
no, we want to enter.
Deepa.
We'll enter on our chest. That's all that we're saying.
Very good, Deepa. Just hold on. We have a caller on the line. We have Bharatan who's called in from Chennai. Bharatan, go on.
Ma'am, I've got 3 points to make.
Please do so.
During the Jallikattu controversy, we had a sensitive government in Tamil Nadu which facilitated Jallikattu, sensing the mood of the people. We seem to have an insensitive government in Kerala which is not sensitive to the interests of the Hindus on the floor, and hence it is trying to bulldoze the decision on the people. 2, I think the sentiment on the ground should be taken suo motu cognizance of by the Supreme Court, and a review should be started immediately. And 3, in the southern part of the country, about which many channels on the national front are not sufficiently updated on, majority of those who support this decision today wanted bypassing the Supreme Court judgment on the Jallikattu issue. That clearly shows the political motives of those supporting this decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bharatan, for calling in, and let us also tell you this, that this was a case that was not decided overnight. This was a case that had 5 petitioners, but it had 13 respondents.
No, I think
there were 7 interveners who were brought into the case. Let me make my point. It was not a case that was decided overnight.
See,
if you are blaming the government of the day, then it is a government that the people of Kerala voted in. And the second point over here is, if you are talking of a review petition, why should the Supreme Court bring in a review petition? Why can't the state or why can't the board, temple board, go ahead and file a review petition? Amit Khemka?
Yeah, Kavita,
They filed already. They're not
before I go to that, somebody here said that it is the people of Kerala who will decide about it. With great respect, I have to say that it is the people of India at most, he can say, because Kerala is a part of India. Now we all are Indians, and let me tell you, the male chauvinism, the masculinity is a problem everywhere, whether it is North India or it is South India. Now it is in the name of male dominance. All these kind of things have been done for centuries. Now that is what the Supreme Court has not accepted. The Supreme Court has said that, oh, sir, please, you won't understand unless you hear me. Sir, please, keep patience, sir.
Sir,
please keep
you
patience.
No, we don't want to understand.
Question
Because
is,
you don't give us the respect. You treat us like
sir,
a country
please
cousin.
keep patience.
Sir, let me remind you.
Sir, can you
let
keep
me remind
patience,
the whole
sir?
nation.
You
These
don't
four
want
states
you
give
don't want
more than
people to get
60% of
into
your
temple.
GDP.
You
It
don't
is
want
the
people
most
to speak.
progressive
You
states
don't
in the
want
country.
anything. You want to
better
rule this
listen to them.
country. You want to rule the Supreme Court. You don't want to follow the Supreme Court.
No, you listen
don't
to the
allow.
text,
You
which
don't want
gives
to
you
allow
the
people
respect
to
of
enter a
Supreme Court,
temple.
but you're talking
Now, who are you?
nonsense.
Who has given you this power?
Mr. Muralidharan,
Who has given you this
Mr.
authority?
Muralidharan,
Who are you?
Mr. Muralidharan, let me tell you one thing. Mr. Muralidharan,
Everybody.
overrule the
These are-
judgment
Mr.
these are
Muralidharan,
fringe elements.
I request the
Let me
producer to
tell you-
cut everybody's
let me
audio.
tell you, Kavita,
Mr.
these are
Muralidharan,
different groups.
Mr.
You know,
Muralidharan, if you
somebody
represent
says,
the
I will
most,
not allow a film to be telecasted. Somebody says, I'll not allow this to happen. So, you know, it can't be like this. When the law of the land is settled
It's a
by the
democracy,
Supreme Court
sir.
of this
Everybody
country,
has a right
it
to
is
protest.
only the
Everybody
Supreme
has a
Court which
right
has
to
the right
everything.
to.
Mr.
It's a
Muralidharan,
democracy.
Mr.
You
Protest
Muralidharan,
at your home.
That right has to be
This is not
circumscribed in
Pakistan.
the rule of
Protest.
law.
You
Mr.
It
Muralidharan,
cannot be
You are
whimsical.
dividing the
It
country.
cannot be
You can't
knee-jerk.
do that. You are
It
not
cannot
allowed
be
to do that.
whimsical and emotional.
You can't.
Right.
It is the constitutional right of a person to go to a temple to worship in the way that person wants to worship. It is my constitutional right.
Sir, it
you
is
can't take away my
at
constitutional
Sabarimala,
right
it
by
is
committing a
Naishtika
crime
Brahma
under the
Bhavam.
What
At
you are doing is
Sabarimala,
a crime under the
deity is-
IPC.
At Sabarimala,
Don't tell us.
if you are shouting, I am also going to shout.
Right.
Please
Prashant,
understand,
Prashant,
at
go on.
Sabarimala,
Prashant, go on.
at
You are
Sabarimala,
not
it is
allowing me to
Naishtika
speak.
Brahma Bhavam of
What
Lord
are you
Ayyappa.
talking of Gandhi?
Then
Gandhi
please
did not
listen
allow
to me for one
the other
one
people
second.
to
Please
speak.
listen to me
Well,
for 1
you are
second.
talking-
Here's
you're-
what I
you're
want to say.
calling
One
for-
second,
Please
one
listen
second.
to me for
One
1
second.
second.
Amit
Please
Khemka,
listen
Amit
to me
Khemka
for
and
one
Please,
second.
for God's
Amit
sake.
Khemka
1
and
second.
Prashant Unnikrishnan, 1 second. Let me lay down some ground rules over here. This is a
At
channel where we
Sabarimala-
encourage discussion and debate. This is not a channel where we encourage people to talk over each other. Mr. Muralidharan, if you represent the most progressive state in the country, then if that is the case, then you should also understand how important it is to listen to what other people are trying to say. Let Mr. Amit Khemka finish his point and then we'll give both of you a chance to speak.
Provided,
Mr. Khemka,
Kavita, provided.
let Mr. Khemka speak. I'll come to you. Give me 5 minutes. Let Mr. Khemka speak. Thank you. Mr. Khemka.
There is no. Kavita, what I wanted to say was they have Tara rightly said, they have all the right to protest. They can go in front of the assembly and protest. They can go in front of even Supreme Court and protest. I don't mind. But to say in the name of protest, I will cause restraint. In the name of protest, I will cause mischief in a place of worship. In the name of restraint, in the name of protest,
Who said
I will
that?
say that divide a woman into 2 parts, send one to Delhi and one to some other place. Now this is what is not allowed. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. This is against the very ethos of our society. This is against the very ethos of Hinduism. Hinduism allows you to
want to come in,
worship
Kavita.
God in the way you want. It gives you the maximum freedom. It is not a religion which restricts you from doing a particular thing in a particular manner. It is Hinduism which allows you the complete
Right.
freedom.
Right.
So that is not even Hinduism. It is not Indian. It is not constitutional.
Right,
It is
Amit
not
Khemka,
legal.
I
It
need
is a
to,
crime.
I'm running short of time. I need to give everybody a chance to speak. Very quickly, Mr. Muralidharan, go on and make your point.
Yeah, Kavita. See, what I want to tell you is people have to understand each and every state. These are states which are like giving 60% of the GDP and they are intelligent state. They are not your country cousins anymore. You can't call us the Madrasis, all that. It's been proven fact. Second thing, the women are on the street and protesting for a simple reason. The men will do the Lent for 41 days and they go to Sabarimala. What he does, he gets up in the morning, 4:30, he has a bath, he says his slogas and his pujas and everything, then he has his breakfast and all that. But maintaining the cleanliness of the house, maintaining the sanity of everything, and the mental length as well as the physical length is the responsibility of the women in those houses. That is the reason they are angered so much. Those are the women. I'll tell you one more reason. See, Tamil Nadu has the maximum number of widows. You know why? That's because of alcohol abuse, right? The men, a lot of people have died because of alcohol. So, in a house, in a poor house, you take a small poor house, the women want the men, at least for that 41 days, to stop their alcohol. They push them into this ritual, move them and send them to Sabarimala. So there is a strong fundamental belief. This is what people in the north do not understand. That's because for you Lodi Tom and your Humayun Tom and Akbar Tom are culture, which is not culture, which is
Kavita,
the
can I
destruction done by Mughal, and they were
Yes,
left
sir.
over. Taj Mahal is not your culture. You want to see the essence of India, you come to South India. See the temple, thousands of years old. This is where your culture and essence remains. And if you're not going to respect this, and you're going to be in trouble, and you are dividing the country. You are the one who are dividing the country, not us. We are fighting to keep the unity. That's my point.
Mr. Muralidharan, I didn't understand what culture you were talking about. My takeaway was the women have to clean the house. Tara, you had a point to make.
That's hilarious. Yes, I have a couple of points to make. One is people repeatedly keep bringing up Jallikattu. The Jallikattu protest.
Yeah, it's hilarious because you don't
didn't
understand my
stop
culture.
anybody
This is demeaning
from
my
prevent
culture.
anyone from
This is
exercising
exactly what
their
I meant, Kavita. These women coming there for a picnic. This is not a picnic spot. I get angry when you try to demean my culture. This is nonsense.
Mr. Muralidharan, have you
She's
tried to
laughing-
speak to
she's
any of the
laughing
women
at
who want to come
somebody's,
there?
somebody's
Mr.
belief in
Muralidharan,
culture.
Mr.
On a national
Muralidharan, have you
television.
tried to speak to
No,
any
she
of the
cannot
women
do
who want
that.
to come over
She
there?
cannot laugh.
Have you
That is
spoken-
an uncivil argument.
Mr. Muralidharan, have you spoken to any
No, she can't laugh
of
like
the
that.
women who want to come over there? Have you spoken to even one woman who wants to come to Sabarimala? Have you
Yes,
spoken to
of
even
course,
one
nobody,
woman?
no. In my class,
Can I
nobody
continue,
wants to
Kavita?
go.
Well,
I
clearly,
have- we have good
clearly
friends
you
there.
don't know where that
Vishwa's
woman is
wife
coming
sitting
from.
there. She doesn't want to
Clearly,
go.
you don't know where
My
that
mother
woman is
doesn't
coming
want to
from.
go.
Your mother is not all the women in Kerala. I'm sorry.
They are coming for a picnic. They are not allowed.
continue?
You
to come
cannot
for a
demean
picnic.
their-
Let them do the
If
Lent.
you say
Let them
devotees
follow
have rights,
procedure.
you cannot
She's
demean
laughing
their
at a
rights.
ritual on
You
a national
cannot demean
television.
their rights. You
And
cannot
you're
demean their
permitting it.
piety. You
That's
cannot
not
demean the
acceptable.
hope that they
You
have.
cannot accept.
I'm sorry.
You cannot
I
accept
am
a panelist
sorry.
to laugh about this.
Mr.
This is not a
Muralidharan,
laughing
I
issue.
will not let
We
you
are grieving
insult
here.
those
May
women
I
who
continue,
fought a battle
Kavita?
to get into that temple. Yes, Tara Krishnaswamy, please go on.
It's not about letting.
So first
let
of
them
all,
do the
there's
Lent.
repeated
Let them have
comparisons
the,
to
let them
Jallikattu.
have
The
some
Jallikattu
fires
protest
before they enter
didn't-
here.
Oh man.
Go on, Tara, go on.
Yeah, I didn't interrupt any one of you, so I'd really appreciate it if the rest of you also give me that same treatment. Yes, thank you. So the Jallikattu protest didn't stop anyone from exercising their rights. They were demanding their rights. They didn't stop someone else from exercising their rights. Today, the Supreme Court has said women have a right to enter the temple, and nobody should be stopping them violently, non-violently, by blocking the way, by getting them to climb on the, on their bodies or whatever it is. If you stop them, you're doing something illegal. Period. And don't take Gandhi's name along with that. Number two, the women who go there today, even before the Supreme Court verdict, were also keeping the Lent. So women can very much keep the Lent, and if the men are not able to do so without the women cleaning their homes, then the men should admit that they can't do this. Okay, so that's the second thing. Third, by all means protest. If it is your culture, then you don't want this, and you really genuinely believe in your faith, right? By all means protest. There is a way to protest. To protest against a Supreme Court verdict is to file a review petition, which has been filed and which will come for hearing, and that is your way of protesting. And if the law of the land prevails and that women can enter, you better respect it. Why? Because women have respected it and not entered. It is the same law women respected for so many years, about 50 years. Before that, women were entering. Women of 10 to 50 were entering the temple for a while, right? After that, women have respected it because the law was laid down. Do you have the same decency to respect it? You don't get to preach a different law for women and a different law for yourself.
No.
After all,
No,
women have
that's
respected
wrong.
the law. So who are you now
That's
to say,
wrong.
I will not respect the law
That's
anymore?
not how that was, Tara.
Deepa,
What
you
is
sir, go
wrong?
on.
Women have not been entering the temple. Women have
No,
not
that was-
been
that was
entering
not-
the temple,
No, that was not
giving
the
due
case.
respect
No,
to
they've
the
not been.
Kerala High Court
women,
order and the Devaswam
women
board
have always
that-
been entering the
Right,
temple.
right.
Tara,
Tara,
you say
Tara, let
women were
Deepa
entering the
speak.
temple?
Let Deepa speak. Let Deepa speak. Deepa, go on.
women of a certain age.
See, this belief has been there
Women
from
of a certain age is what I
centuries
meant.
together. In 1812, the book that was written, the Warden Corner book, written by Britishers, very clearly states that they have very strangely seen only young girl children and old women there along with the male devotees, and they've not seen young women there. I have a copy of that book. Unfortunately, I don't have it right now with me. But then that you can definitely find it, Warden Corner book of 1812.
That is what
This is
I'm
not
saying.
written by
Women
a
have
Keralite,
respectfully
not written
not
by a
entered for
Hindu,
so
not
many
written by an
years. Tara,
Indian,
let us
but it
speak.
was written by Britishers. It's an observation by Britishers. Yeah, and that went on for centuries together. There have been aberrations to this. Some women have claimed to enter. I'm not saying such cases have not happened at all, but that was not the tradition. That was going against the tradition. And when we noticed that the Devaswam, as administrators of the temple, was failing to uphold the temple's traditions, that is when S. Mahendran forwarded a case in 1991 in the High Court that the temple's traditions were not upheld, and that is how it became legalized in 1991.
we know tradition. You already discussed this in court.
People by saying that young women have always been entering, and this law came in only in 1991. That's a wrong argument to put forward.
Deepa Ishwar, all this has been discussed in court.
Yeah.
My point is simply this. Aren't you now blackmailing people? Aren't you now blackmailing those women who have been given the right to enter the temple?
Who is blackmailing people?
You are blackmailing. You are telling them you will be lying on the ground.
Who is blackmailing people here? See,
It's the politicians. It's the politicians.
we will be lying on the ground. We're not saying that you will have to
It's the
lie on the ground.
politicians who are blackmailing.
Please,
Deepa Ishwar,
if
technically you should not be lying on the ground because you are not supposed to be able to enter.
Sabarimala, you will lie on the ground. We're saying
Who are politicians? You can see on the roads.
Of course, we believe they're
see on
not
the
supposed
roads
to
of
enter,
Kerala, you
but
can
if they
see on
want
the
to
roads
enter,
of
they'll
Kerala,
step on
it
our
is
chest and enter. There is no
ladies from
violence
the
created
houses,
by
they
us.
are not politicians.
What you all are doing is essentially there is a
Exactly.
verdict and you're now
See, we are
blackmailing
not
people.
saying that there will be violence there. We will keep women out of there. It is our belief that young women should not enter, and we will continue to believe that way, that young women should not enter. We've already filed the review petition. It is with the Supreme Court. Unless the review petition is being heard and we get one more final verdict on it, or one more hearing of the review petition and things like that goes on, we want our beliefs to still be upheld. And if nobody is supporting us, the state government is not supporting us,
Okay.
then we will
Okay.
take a
Deepa,
non-violent part
Deepa,
of this,
Deepa,
lying
tell me
down
this.
on the roads.
Tell me
Who is
this.
stopping
Tell
us
me
from
this.
doing that? We
Tell
are
me
not
this.
throwing out
Deepa.
stones there. We are not throwing water there. We are not doing
Deepa,
anything. Can't we
Deepa,
just lie
tell
down
me
on the
this.
roads?
breaking the law.
Tell me this. Where will this end? Say you filed a review petition. Say the petition is heard, and say the judgment is not in your favor. It is not what you want to hear. Will you do this again? Will you again turn around and say we are going to
Say
lie
the
down in front
judgment
of the
is in our
temple?
favor?
I'm
So what
asking
will
you.
happen?
I'm asking
tell
you,
me.
where will
So
it
think
end?
about it.
If
Okay,
it is
think
not
about
in
the
your
other way
favor,
around.
where
What
will
if
it
the
end?
judgment is in our favor?
I'm asking
what
you,
if
where
the
will it
judgment
end?
is fine? What if
Well,
it is
I got
in
my
our
answer.
favor?
I got
What
my
if it
answer,
is in our
Deepa.
favor? So
So
we are
you're
doing
going to
a
go back
pilot.
to court
We are doing a pilot
till-
right now by
Deepa,
asking young women to
Deepa.
enter, and when the final verdict comes out, you keep out again.
So Deepa,
Beliefs are
essentially,
not something to be changed
no,
according to the verdict.
Deepa.
Beliefs are something that should be upheld irrespective.
Fine. So essentially what Deepa you're telling us over here is the final verdict is when the judgment is in your favor. Vikram Singh, we've heard the threats that have come in. We've already seen what
No,
people
not at all. Whatever it is,
Deepa,
whether
I
it
gave
is
you
in
your
favor
time.
or whether it is not in our favor.
Deepa, I
Since
gave
the
you
review
your
petition
time.
has been filed,
Deepa,
we
I'm
will
running
have
out of
to
time.
give the
I'll have to ask my
opportunity for the
producer to
court
cut down your audio. Vikram Singh, do you think that there is enough that you've heard over here for the police to act, for the police to ensure that on the 17th, when women try and make that trek to Sabarimala, that they are allowed to go and enter into the temple? That there is enough to arrest these people
Kavita,
who are planning to do this?
my strong advice to the local police is to ensure preemptive and preventive arrest immediately. And you can see on your channel itself, the so-called Gandhian ambassadors have been so very mild and ahimsak on the channel itself. They didn't allow Mr. Khemka to speak. They didn't allow other panelists to speak. I would rather Gandhian belief should not only be expressed, it should be brought in your thought, word and deed, which seems to be sadly missing even on the TV channel. If this be the trailer, I fear what's going to happen on the D-Day itself. Please do not quote Gandhiji, as they say, quoting the devil quoting the scriptures to his own advantage. Now, Mr. Muralidharan should also realize that the Supreme Court is a constitutional entity and we are duty bound to respect it. We cannot have jingoism in any form, and we should go and move for a review petition. If the judgment comes in your favor, so be it, we will compliment you. But if it is not, it's our duty to respect the judgment given by the Honorable Court.
Right. And in fact, I'm completely out of time over here. At the end, all that I would like to say to people who are saying that they will protest by calling it a Gandhian protest is that the highest court of the land has held that what is being practiced in Sabarimala is also a form of untouchability. Do not take the name of the champion of the rights of the untouchables and subvert his principles to say that you will be using a Gandhian form of protest to stop women from entering the temple. The Supreme Court has allowed women to enter the temple. If you have a problem with that, there is a procedure. You can go back to court, you can file a review petition, you can wait for your turn, you can wait for that hearing, and when the decision comes, you can implement that decision. But right now, the court has decreed that women can enter, and there is no way that you can stop them from entering. Least of all, by using little children as a shield. Because if that is how you intend to protest, then I'm sorry, it is cowardice and it is extremely, extremely shameful and extremely inhuman. Thank you for watching.